Why is it so important that we regularly and consistently return back to the home of self? Return back to the peace and the grace and the love that is our essential nature. Why is it important that we return back to that in our practices, in our meditations, in our conscious conversations with life, with others, with ourselves, in our journaling, in our studies? Why is it important that we remember the truth of our being, the beautiful and boundless grace of our divine nature? Why is it important that we return to this regularly, and not just when things are difficult, not just when things get tough, but even when things are going swimmingly and just fine, that we stay in our devotions and we stay in our meditations and our conversations and our practices? Because if we don't, then when things get really tough, and there's a lot of tough times coming in this world that we're living in right now, more than ever, it's going to be really important to be able to come to rest as your truth, as your true power, because the world's getting really funky. And if you don't have a practice, if you're not in your practice of returning home, then when things get really tough and you're really triggered and you're feeling lost and you're diving down the rabbit hole, if you only try to get back to your truth, back to your home, back to your essential nature, the abidance of your truth, you only do so when things get tough, it's really, really, really hard to find your way back in the midst of a trigger. So here's an analogy for you. Imagine that you've got a little path that you walk out to a forest glen, a place of great peace. There's a little bench right there. The light comes filtering in beautifully. It's a clearing surrounded by trees and flowers and plants. And it's the most serene place you've ever known. And you go there every day, maybe even several times a day. And the path winds a little bit, and it goes over that log, and it comes around that bend, and you got to take this turn here, and you know how to get to this beautiful place of peace and equanimity and wholeness. You know how to get there because you go there all the time. And that's akin to dropping into your meditations and returning to your truth, going through the little winding paths of inquiry and thoughts and stillness and quieting and again, self-inquiry. Who am I really? What's the nature of my being? You go there on a regular basis. And in that scenario, because you go there regularly, imagine that something really difficult happens and a great darkness descends. And you can no longer see that path with such clarity because now a storm is happening. Think of it that way. That there's a huge storm, rain, thunder, lightning, wind. And you need to get back to your peace, to your home, to your truth. If you were regularly practicing how to get there, you could get there in the dark. You could get there even when panic wants to set in, even when all hell is breaking loose all around you. You would be able to get back there because you know that path so very, very well. But if you only walk that path when things get difficult, when you're desperate, you will find that that path is grown over by brambles, by The foliage will have started to cover the path. It's not as clear. It's not as easy. It's not as direct. There's more obstacles. Maybe a tree branch fell recently, but because you haven't been walking this path, you haven't cleared that tree branch. Maybe there's a lot of tree branches because you haven't been walking this path regularly. You haven't been cleaning it up. You haven't been maintaining it, keeping it clear. So you can't find it. It's hard to get back. And then there's a new little trail off that way. And oh wait, was it this way or was it that way? And meanwhile, hell's still breaking loose all around you. But if you practice on a regular basis and keep your path clear, your path back to the heart, clear, open, strong, robust, well-trodden, then when all hell's breaking loose, you're going to be able to get back to that true place of peace, to that place of true peace with more ease, with more expertise, with more clarity. So, the invitation here, stay in your practices, stay in your meditations, stay in your self-inquiries of who are you really? What is the true nature of your being? To drop back into your heart, to drop back into your grace, your divine essence, regularly, not just when things are tough, but every day, even when things are going beautifully, that you still stay in attendance to your practices, your meditations, your conversations, your journaling, your contemplations, your self-inquiry. Every day, keep that path clear. Keep it clear. Keep it clear. All right, my friends. Blessings. Be well.